do my October TBR. So my October TBR is going to look a little bit different because I am doing a reading challenge. I do the TBR and Beyond reading challenge every single month, and I have quite a few prompts on it, but I do also want to do categories because I've been doing pretty good in it. But my categories TBR is also going to be mostly spooky and eerie and creepy reads. So I'm going to start with the book for the Time Warp YA Book Club. Actually, I haven't even announced this yet, but the book we're going to read for the Time Warp YA Book Club is Anna Dressed in Blood by Ken Dare Blake. This is a one that I've never picked up, but I'm really intrigued by it. It is like a ghost story, and it follows Caslow, who's inherited and he kills the dead, as did his father before him, and he's a ghost hunter. But they arrive in a new town in search of a ghost called Anna Dressed in Blood. Cass doesn't expect anything out of the ordinary. Move, hunt, kill, and what he finds is a girl entangled in curses and a rage, a ghost he's never faced before. And they have an adventure together. I'm really excited for this one. I really wanted something like eerie and creepy, so this is going to be the Time Warp YA Book Club book. I've heard really good things about this book, and I just never got around to getting it. This was also a book that I got as a gift from a friend of mine for my birthday, so this might work for one of the reading prompts as well, but I'm really excited for this one, and this will be the book for that club. If you're interested in joining, the link is always in the description box. But yeah, this will be the group book. I'm going to take a little bit of a break from nonfiction reads and just tackle quite a few eerie and creepy audiobooks. I'm going to give you guys as much information as I can about them, but a lot of these I don't know a lot about. Just the title and the covers are something that just has been like intriguing me and capturing me, so that's why they're on this list. Hope to have access to this month is because I read one every single year, is Capturing the Devil by Carrie Maniscalco. Here is the photo in that series, and I'm really excited to finally read it. I've heard people have said this book is their favorite in that mini-series, and this one, let me just look it up. This one, Audrey, Rose, and Thomas are on the hunt for a depraved, elusive killer known as the White City Devil. A deadly game of cat and mouse has them fighting over to stay one step ahead of a brilliant serial killer or see their fateful romance cut short by unspeakable tragedy. Ooh, I am intrigued. I've been really wanting to dive into this actual myth because it is inspired by real events. So if I read this book and love it, I might wind up picking up Devil in the White City by Eric Lawson, which has been on my TBR for quite a while. So this book might push me over the edge, but I'm really excited for this one. And the next audiobook I would love to pick up is A Tale of Witchcraft by Chris Culver. I love his audiobooks. I actually have a physical copy of this one, but I love when he reads me books because he is a great narrator. And this is the second book in their prequel series, and it follows Brissel, has saved everyone from the evil Snow Queen, and it's just a prequel series that is the prequel to the Land of Story series. I really liked book 1. I bought book 2. I have the audiobook. I'm probably going to listen to it this month, and I will give you guys my thoughts at the end of the month. But this is definitely high on my TBR for audiobooks because it has to do with witchcraft, and I like to read a lot of witch books in the month of October. And then the other book that I have on my TBR is a new audiobook that I acquired, and that is The Southern's Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendricks. And here is a photo. Really good things about this book, but I don't know a lot about it. I just know that people have really liked it, and it has like a very, very engaging listen. So let's see what the summary says. I know it obviously has to do with vampires, and I'm a big Buffy fan, so whenever I hear vampires, I am cautiously optimistic, cautiously due to Buffy and Vampire Academy, but always a little bit due to Twilight. It has scarred me for the rest of my life with vampire books. But this book is fried green tomatoes and stale magnolias meets Dracula in this southern flavored supernatural thriller set in the 90s about a women's book club that must protect its suburban community from a mysterious and handsome stranger who turns out to be a real monster. Ooh, I am intrigued. So I'm really excited for this one as well. And then the next book I hope to read is Symphony of Bones by L.T. Ryan. This is the third book in her mini quartet cozy mystery series. I'm really excited for this one, and I got the audiobook a couple of months back, and I just never got around to listening. But they're super cute. I know her tangentially. She used to work on one of my favorite sites. She was a podcast host, and I just like her writing. And they're really, really quick reads. I tend to listen to them on the commute to and from work. So yeah, I'm really excited for this one, and here is a photo. What I have planned for this month is When Justice Sleeps by Stacey Abrams. This has been on so many TBRs. I hope this is the month that I actually tackle it, but it is a political mystery thriller, and I love Stacey Abrams. I also, if I get around to it, I might read one of her cozy mysteries as well this summer, or her suspenseful romantics books. But this has to do with a vacancy on the Supreme Court and how that vacancy led the world into chaos, drama, and murder. So really, I think that's a decent summary, but I'm really excited, and I hope I finally get around to listening to it. I've started this book 4 different times and just never wound up completing it or making any headway, so hopefully October is the month. A couple of reasons, because I have to return it to the library relatively quickly, but I am going to pick up Witch Please by Anne Aguirre. This is like a witchy themed rom-com. So you follow Danica Warehouse. She's a modern witch, but after a messy breakup, she makes a pact with her cousin that they'll keep their hearts protected and they won't involve their mothers in their love life. And then the other character is Titus Whittaker, who has a family trouble of his own. All he's got is his sister, who's bakery, and a romantic curse that is doomed to be left alone until these two characters meet. And can a modern witch find love with an old-fashioned mundane who refuses to settle anything less for forever? I'm really excited by this book. It sounds super cute. Reminds me a little bit of The Good Witch, which is a TV series I love, and I'm hoping to marathon it in the month of October. But this one sounds perfect, and this will be for my paranormal book. I'm probably going to read a lot of paranormal books, but I know I'm going to read this one because I have to return it to the library relatively quickly. Prompt is read the group or buddy read. They have a couple every single month, and the one that I was most intrigued about was The Wife Upstairs by Rachel Hawkins. Here's a photo. That super space chick really liked this book when she came back from her hiatus, and it just struck me. If I'm not mistaken, this is like a Jane Eyre inspired retelling. And this girl named Jane, she moves to Birmingham, Alabama, in a gated community. And she's sort of I think she's working there. When she meets Eddie Ratti, a recently widowed Eddie in Thornfield Estates, one mysterious resident, his wife Bea drowned in a boating accident. But Jane would see an opportunity. Not only was rich, boarding, handsome, but he can also offer a kind of protection she's always yearned for, and they fall for each other. But Jane is increasingly haunted by the legend of Bea. Ooh, that one sounds interesting. So I'm excited for that one. I heard it's a really, really fun read as well. Very, very quick, very, very digestible. I have the audiobook, so that is one that I have my eyes on, and it does fit a prompt, which I'm really excited about. So the next book is read a spooky middle grade book. I'm going to have to go hunt to see if I have one. I probably do. I might just have to go through my actual collection because I don't know if I have any on my immediate TBR, but I'm going to go hunt for one. The book that I wound up picking up was Evangeline and the Bayou. I've had this book for so long. I must have got it from a couple of ALAs ago. At this point, we've been in a pandemic for so long. The last time I went to ALA, I think I got this book. But it is, or maybe the year before, pre-pandemic life. But this follows a girl, and she is a huntress in training. It's set in the Louisiana Bayou. I read a book last month set in the Louisiana Bayou, and I am really excited for this one. It also has art, and when I picked this book up, it reminded me of Buffy for some reason, and I just really want to read it. So happy this got chosen, and hopefully I will enjoy it. Also, another one that might work for this one is Dark Waters by Katherine Arden. So either this one or Dark Waters. They're both will probably get read just because they're really, really quick, and I have a lot of longer books this month. But this one I'm going to put on here, but it may get switched out with Dark Waters. Look, I actually really, really like this prompt. It's read a book inspired by your favorite Halloween movie. I love the Halloween Town series so much. My big favorite is the one called Halloween Town High. So I'm going to pick Hollowpox, The Hunt for Morgan Crow. I've been really enjoying middle grade recently, and I want to stay up to date on this series because it's been a bit since I read the second one. I didn't love the second one as much as I loved the first one, but this is going to be the book for that one, and hopefully I get around to reading it. It is a little bit massive. I also do like Hocus Pocus, so I might change this out for something, but I'm going to put it on here, and hopefully it gets read. And if I wind up changing it in the middle of the month, I'll let you guys know. But that is what I'm going to put on right now. So I'm excited for that. So the next prompt is read a book that's like the lowest rated on Goodreads. So I have two options. I have Witches Steeped in Gold by Sienna Smart, and I also have Asylum by Madeline Rue. They were pretty close, so whatever one I wind up picking up first will probably count for this challenge. I also have another challenge that might work as well for these books. So I'm going to talk about that challenge right now, and that's read a book that people either loved or hated. And whatever book I don't wind up reading, I'll probably read for the other one. I'll probably pick one other one just as like a backup plan. But these are the books for that prompt. So, yeah. Is read a book, a recent purchase, gift, or borrow. And I am just going to choose two because I do hope to read a lot this month. One is The X-Hex. I literally just got this in the mail today. And Witch Haven is another one that I really hope to read. This is like a contemporary Stars Hollow with magic story. It also is a second chance romance that I need to read for one of my reading challenges. And this is a historical fiction witch novel. So these two will count for that prompt. And the next prompt is read a horror or thriller book by a BIPOC author. And I think I am going to pick up Ace of Shades. This is a sort of like a Get Out and a heart-spanning suspense and relevant social commentary comes a high-octane thriller from debut author Farabah Amelia, and this has to do with a boarding school as well, and this will probably count for that as well. I went before read a book that either people seem to love or hate, but there is no middle ground. I have Witches Steeped in Gold. I have the other one, but I'm also going to add Born Wicked by Jessica Spotswood. I've had this book on my TBR for so long. It has to do with sisters. It has to do with magic. I've heard really good things, and I've also heard really, really bad things. So there really is no in-between with this book. It was written a while ago, and I'm curious to see if it holds up. I've heard really mixed things, but I'm going to add this to my TBR. A little bit of a break, and the next book is read a book with a spooky cover, and I'm just going to do Anna Dressed in Blood. I haven't actually done anything for this prompt yet, so this will be the book that I read for a spooky cover. But really, most of these books would work for that. And then the bonus prompt is read a book after dark. I am probably going to read Hocus Pocus, the comic book you could play. I've had this for so long. I got it at Quirk a couple of years ago. And read a book after dark will probably be for this one. And then read a dark academia book. I can either read Ace of Shades, How We All Fall Apart, or Lessons in Vengeance. Those are dark academia books, and that is sort of my plan. Now I'm going to go choose my TBR books. I'm only going to roll one die, so it won't take me that long. And I do have a couple of books on here that I haven't talked about yet, so that's going to be the last part of this TBR. It is actually the next day, and I messed up filming this part, so I just want to go over it again. But I did wind up picking 4 prompts. So 2 of the prompts I chose were for the Shang-Chi board for the Avengers Reading Challenge, and 2 were read books on my end of the year TBR. So I'm going to go over both those books with you. I messed up my rolling, so it looked a little bit awkward, and we're just going to talk through the summary. TBR was Ace of Shades, which I have talked about, so that will fit for that. And I'm really excited for this one. It sounds really, really fun. I picked this up at Barnes & Noble, and hopefully I like it. And then the other book on my on my end of the year TBR was The Lost Apothecary by Sarah Perner. And this is like a historical fiction murder mystery, but it's also like a dual point of view, like a dual timeline story. So this cover is stunning. So these are the 2 books for there. And this one is set in 18th century, but then 200 years in the future, their paths wind up crossing. So I'm really excited for this one. And then the books that I'm going to read for the Shang-Chi props, I actually had to buy this one because I thought I had it and I don't know what happened to it. But The Dragon Warrior by Kat Zhao, I'll put a picture in this order. She's so funny on author. She's really, really funny on Twitter. So the summary of this book is A debut novel inspired by Chinese mythology and middle grade fantasy follows an outcast as she embarks on a quest to save the world from demons, perfect for fans of Arusha in the end of time. Hopefully this will fulfill a lot of those prompts on the Shang-Chi board, especially the dragon one. But the other book that I can also read is also by Kat Zhao, but it's her young adult dark academia thriller, and that is When We All Fall Apart. So here's a photo of that. And then let me just read you the summary of that one. It's actually super short as well, but it's in a young adult thriller that is crazy rich Asians meets One of Us is Lying. Students at an elite prep school are forced to confront their secrets when their ex-best friend turns up dead. So, really excited for that one. And one other book I just want to quickly mention is the new Kendare Blake book, which is another murder mystery that I did get from my library. I have to read it pretty quickly, so I'm probably going to read that at some point this month. But let's go see the last clip, and I'll talk to you guys in that clip. The last 3 books, actually 4 books on my TBR are The Hawthorne Legacy by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is the sequel to the Inheritance games. I'm really excited for this one. It's a mystery thriller that kind of reminds me a little bit of Clue and Knives Out. I'm really excited for this. The Forest of the Stolen Girl by June He. Her was a library pick that is like a very historical fiction-y murder mystery, and I'm really excited. And also Bone Crier's Dawn, because this is on one of my lists to read by the end of the year. And a book that I'm currently in the middle of reading is Daughters of the Deep, which is probably going to be the first book that I finish relatively quickly. But yeah, thank you guys for sticking around in this reading vlog, or this reading plans for the month of October. Definitely is not my normal setup, but my Halloween Carnival TBR definitely did deviate things a little bit. But I'm really excited to read some books in the month of October that are eerie and creepy, and I hope you guys stay along for the journey, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye, friends.